Hello, my sweet friends. This is Tracy. Today I am sharing two last minute door hangers for the season coming up. Guys, I'm so glad that you're here. I loved making these, and so let me show you how I did it. Let's get started. This beaded bunny door hanger is so stinking cute. I was totally inspired when I saw one created by Painted by Mandy East over on TikTok. I fell in love with it and I said, I want to make one for myself for my door this season. So I will leave a link to her TikTok below because that is where I got the inspiration. And thank you to Mandy for inspiring me. Okay, guys, so what I'm doing here or what I'm using is a 15-inch wood round. Now, I like to get my wood rounds from burrowwood.com. And the beaded bunny hanger is from Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to mark off where I want to drill my holes. I'm just using my little cordless drill just to drill some holes. And then I'm going to be attaching the beaded hanger to my wooden round with some bind wire. And I gave this wood round a coat of plaster chalk paint. Now I'm using this bind wire. It is from Amazon. It is listed in my storefront. It comes in green as well as dark brown. And next, what I want to do is add the hello. I just loved the whole thing about everything with this entire project. And so I had a spring pick that I had that said hello, but it was just a smidgen too small. So I went to my Cricut and searched for the search images and search hello, and tons of images popped up. So I just found one that I liked and cut it on my Cricut Joy. Now what I'm going to do, guys, is add some brown shading to it, and just using my vintage photo distress ink and a little finger dauber, I'm just going around that on this circle. And then also I'm going to be adding some shading with the vintage photo distress ink around the letters just to make them pop. Then I'm going to just give it a coat of the silver glitter spray. I got that off of Etsy and love using that just to give my projects just a little bit of sparkle. So using that tan bind wire, I am just putting it in one of the holes, and I'm going to be putting it in between the beads and then securing it on the back, twisting it so that it's secured on the back. Then later I will to kind of mask those wires or that bind wire, I'll just cover them with pieces of felt because it does two different things. It covers up the bind wire, secures it, and then it also provides me something on the back of, since this is a door hanger, that if it does blow, it does not clank against the door. That is one of my pet peeves. I hate when things are outside and they knock against the door. I just hate that sound. Anyway, so I have this gold wire, or it's kind of, I don't know, like a champagne color. I think I got that at Michael's and really like it for my door hangers, just to make a hanger for it to hang on the door. Now I'm going to thread it through the back, and then I'm going to just use my needle nose pliers just to curl it on itself, kind of secure it so that the wire is all nice and snug in there so that when it hangs on my door, it won't budge and slip through there. These are the greenery and the florals that I'm going to be using for this sweet little bunny. I just love all of the pinks and yellows and greenery and everything that I have. I also showed that ribbon that I'm going to be using to make the bow, and that ribbon came from Craft Outlet. Now these beautiful little mini tulips came from no, roses. I think these are roses. These came from Michael's, and probably the yellow, I'm thinking that came from either Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Those small little pink flowers right there came from Walmart. And then also these little white flower greenery came from Craft Outlet as well. And then I'm also going to be using some pip berries in my little swag because I love me some pip berries. So I just kind of cut those off and then start arranging my garland the way that I want it. I kind of slide those greeneries up on the stem so that I can have most of them up at the top and just kind of position each flower or the different color of flower on each side. I ended up not using all of the pink roses or tulips. I think they're roses. But I will save the others for a different project. And so, sometimes, gathering this is a little tricky, but I have just found if I take my time and hold it together, I can use some of that bind wire just to hold all of that together. Then I go back and add some floral tape. Also, to really give it a good hold. And then that is what I'm going to be doing to, or using that green bind wire to attach my swag to the bead bunny. So that way everything is nice and secure and on my bunny. Okay, I apologize right here. I had zoomed in on my camera and I guess I didn't realize that it was I was out of the frame when I was making my bow. I apologize. But again, as I mentioned, this ribbon came from Craft Outlet. It's a 2.5-inch burlap ribbon with beautiful little flowers on that I thought would be perfect for this beaded bunny door hanger. So I just made 4 loops, 2 on each side. I gather it in the middle. Then I just secured everything with a zip tie in the middle. And then I also have a pipe cleaner. And then that is what I'm going to use to attach my bow to my swag and also glue it down and everything so that it's all nice and secure. Here I am taking the green bind wire and attaching it in several places just so that my swag is secure at the top of my bunny. Now, in the middle of my bow, I am going to make a larger pink felt rose. Now, I do have a video here on my channel. I will leave a link for that for how I make my felt flowers. But here, just really quick, you start with a circle, start with a square, or this is more of a rectangle, and then you just start somewhere, make a point, and then start cutting it kind of the size that you want. And so I'm just taking my scissors, going around, and since I want a little larger rose, I have a little bigger piece. And so I just keep cutting until I get to the end. And so then what I'm going to do just to start wrapping it on itself, I just get my hot glue, give a little bit of that little roll it in the center, just giving dots of hot glue as I go along. And then I get to a point where I think, oh, this is big enough. So I ended up not even using this whole piece, but I'll go ahead and save that for another rose or another felt flower that I can make. And these are so fun to do. And you can do them in so many different colors because there's so many different colors of felt that we have available to us. And you can get felt at any craft store. I attached my sweet bow there in the center of the swag using that pipe cleaner on my swag. And then I'm going to be using this greenery that I got from Craft Outlet. It is faux greenery called Sweet Annie. And I'm so happy that I got some of this. I was inspired by a fellow wreath maker, floral designer that said where she got it from. And I'm so appreciative of that. So I'm just taking off just just little pieces of that and then gluing it in my bow just to give a little bit of softness. And then I'm going to be putting my pink flower there in the center because it's so cute. And then also I am going to be adding some pip berries to my bow just as it's kind of coming out of the bow. I really feel that that really kind of helps just soften up this whole bow, this whole arrangement. And I'm just doing that just with some hot glue. And just a reminder, guys, I was inspired by a TikTok from a fellow creative. Her name is Painted by Mandy East. Again, I will have her linked below. I was inspired and I wanted to make one for myself. And so I am so grateful that we have so many fellow creatives that can inspire us. All right, guys. So here is what I was mentioning, that this is what I do to cover up the back of the on the back of my door hanger. I just use pieces of felt. It just helps with covering up the bind wire, and then also it provides a little bit of a soundproof for not clanking or clapping or whatever you call it against the door, knocking against the door, you know, if the wind or whatever it moves it. So anyway, there you go. And I absolutely love, love, love the way that this sweet beaded bunny door hanger turned out. This sweet grapevine bunny floral decor is using one of the grapevine bunnies from the Dollar Tree Plus section. It was $5, and the ears actually have little chicken wire in there. I got these beautiful pink flowers from Walmart. I'm also going to be using other flowers from Hobby Lobby or either Michael's, and some ribbon to make a bow. All right, so what I did is I just took the flowers apart and just positioned them into a swag. And then once I get the placement that I want, then I use some green bind wire. I have this in my Amazon shop. This is one of my favorite wreath making or floral binding tools. It is from Amazon. Maybe you can get it other places as well, but I got mine off of Amazon. I'm using green here, and I also have the tan and the dark brown to make sure that my stems do not come apart. After I wrapped the stems with the bind wire, I went back and reinforced it with some green floral tape. Then I took a piece of that green bind wire and then just wrapped it on to the grapevine so that everything was secure. You can never have too much security, correct? I just cut off the tails or just stick them in the stems so that they are not shown. Okay, so let me show you how I made the bow. I'm just using this 2.5-inch burlap, and it looks like I'm doing about 5-inch loops. I am using my Easy Bow Maker. This is one of my favorite bow making tools as well. I got mine from Deco Exchange. I will leave my affiliate link for you if you would like to check it out. And it has dowels where you can put the ribbon in there and secure it. And then it has also that third dowel there on the side so that you can roll out your ribbon and that your ribbon doesn't go all over the table or the floor, that kind of thing. So once I figure out the loops that I want, these are probably about like 4.75. I go a little bit smaller as I make my bow. And so I am just measuring out. The tails are probably about 5 inches, but I do them a little bit longer because I want to cut them off in a diagonal so that they all look cohesive. And so then when I make my loops, making the layers, I just go a little bit shorter on those loops. And so just make sure that they're the same width, or if not, I just adjust it there in the center when I make my bow. Now, this cute pink daisy ribbon. Like probably all of these ribbons either came from Craft Outlet, Hobby Lobby, or Michael's. And so just using my Easy Bow Maker, it just really helps with just holding everything together because sometimes my hands don't want to work right and then I can't hold it all together. So just sharing tips and where I get my supplies because I do have a lot of friends that are interested. So I'm taking this 1.5 inch striped ribbon and just making 4 loops there at the top. That is going to be like what I'm going to have for my top of my bow. Then I have this cute 7/8 inch velvet pink ribbon. Use the last of it on this project. Thank goodness I do have an order for some more. I think I got this at the wreathshop.com. And so I just love making a little center bow for my bow here, and then using some of that bind wire. I just twist all of it together really, really tight. Then I'm going to attach it to my grapevine bunny and just using some of that bind wire. That works really, really good. What I did to kind of cover up the bind wire just to secure it, I have just a small piece of brown felt. I just glue that on the back and it just covers all of that up and everything looks really nice and professional. So I'm just kind of fluffing out my bow, and that's what's good about using wired ribbon because if it gets smashed, you can fluff it back up and it looks really nice. I am taking some fine Excelsior, get this at Hobby Lobby, and just sticking it in different places throughout the bow. And I just love how it just adds a bit of whimsy to my grapevine bunny decor piece.